6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has called a special meeting of the ruling party today. The parliament will meet tomorrow to pass the state of emergency. SJB initiates a national council at opposition leader's office. The agriculture minister says over 26,000 metric tons of urea fertilizer has been distributed. A national fuel pass QR code to be implemented from August 1st. News overseas, Russia to further cut gas supply to EU. In sports, today is the third day of the second test match against Pakistan. And those are the headlines. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has called a special meeting of the ruling party today. This will be the first meeting of the parliamentary group of the ruling party held following the Wickremesinghe's appointment as president. Political sources said that the matters pertaining to the emergency law being presented to the parliament and its adoption, as well as the formation of all-party government, are to be discussed at this meeting. Meanwhile, parliament will meet tomorrow. The parliament has to pass the state of emergency, which was imposed by the president last week. The president declared a state of emergency prior to removing the protesters from the presidential secretariat. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said the National Council proposed by the Samagi Jana Balawege to find answers to people's problems will be established at the office of opposition leader today. Mr. Premadasa said the National Council will be formed by bringing in together all the mass societies, trade unions and civil organizations. Premadasa also said this is at the joint trade union meeting held at the office of the opposition leader in Colombo on Saturday. The opposition leader said the progressive proposals received by the National Council will be submitted to Parliament, he added. Agriculture Minister Mahinda Amaraveera says that it was decided to provide 15,000 metric tons of urea fertilizer for tea cultivation. At a meeting held recently, the minister mentioned that the government has decided to provide 15,000 metric tons of urea fertilizer for tea cultivation out of 65,000 metric tons of urea fertilizer given under a loan scheme by the Government of India at the request of Plantation Industries Ministry. The minister also mentioned that President Ranil Wickremesinghe had advised the cabinet that priority will be given to release fuel for upgrading food production in the country. The chairman of the two government-owned fertilizer companies informed the minister that out of 44,000 metric tons of urea fertilizer received, nearly 60% has been distributed so far. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Power and Energy Ministry said the QR code system under the National Fuel Pass portal will be implemented island-wide from August 1st in multiple filling station locations of Sipetco and Lanka Indian IOC Company, while placing the system to refuel for vehicles according to the last digit of the vehicle's registration number until August 1st. He further said the stations not equipped or having technical difficulties will follow the last digit and fuel quota allocation until the technical issues are rectified. 60% of the locations have already been outfitted and tested. They will be given priority in fuel distribution, he said. Therefore, the minister requested all Sipetco and Lanka IOC fuel station owners to adopt the system immediately, and distribution will be strictly enforced to fuel stations with the QR facilities by August 1st. And that's local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Russian President Vladimir Putin says he's counting on President Ranil Wickremesinghe to develop relations between Russia and Sri Lanka. In a congratulatory message to Wickremesinghe, President Vladimir Putin noted that the relationship between Russia and Sri Lanka are of traditionally friendly nature. Putin's message was conveyed by Russia's ambassador to Sri Lanka, Yuri Matiri, when he called on President Ranil Wickremesinghe. And that was top news.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, Sri Lanka health authorities yesterday said that they will take appropriate preventive measures against monkeypox after the World Health Organization declared it was an international public health emergency. Since the beginning of the year up to July 20th, the WHO has detected more than 14,500 suspected and confirmed cases in 72 countries or regions, a clear rise from about 3,040 cases reported at the beginning of May this year. And that was Watchlight. And moving on to world news. Headlines. Russia to further cut gas supply to EU. Ukraine war. Grain exports could restart within days. UK to host next year's song contest. And those are the headlines of the world news. Russian energy giant Gazprom says it will once again drastically cut gas supplies to the EU, though its main pipeline due to maintenance work. Gazprom said stopping another turbine at the Nord Stream 1 pipeline would cut daily gas production to 20%, halving the current level of supply. The German government said there was no technical reason to limit gas supply. It is likely to make it more difficult for EU countries to replenish their stores of gas before winter. Ukraine has said the first vessels with grain could leave its Black Sea ports within days under a landmark of a UN-brokered deal signed last Friday. If the sides guarantee security, the agreement will work. If they do not, it will not work. Infrastructure Minister Oleksandr Gubrov said Russia's have fired missiles on Ukraine's main port of Odessa on Saturday, raising fears that the deal could be derailed. The Eurovision Song Contest will take place in the UK next year after the show organizers decided it could not be held in the winning country. The ongoing war following February's Russian invasion prompted the European Broadcasting Union to look for an alternative host. The UK's Sam Ryder came second this year, which prompted the EBU to open talks with BBC last month. And that was world news. And moving on to development news. The Embassy of Sri Lanka in Jordan has organized a donation of essential medicines at the request of Ministry of Health of Sri Lanka. The consignment of essential medicines sent on 19 July was made possible through the coordinated efforts of the embassy, which reached out to several apparel factories across Jordan to assist in this noble endeavor. And that was development news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Sri Lankan bowlers fought back strongly as Pakistan were 191 for 7 wickets at the close of the second day's play in the second test played at Galle International Cricket Stadium yesterday. Sri Lanka scored 378 while Pakistan were trailing by 187 runs after the second day, and the Galle wicket once again produced a good sign for batters during the first 2 days. Dimuth does not open batting due to injury, and today is the third day of the match. And that was sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSP U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka's BPPL Holdings, a recycled plastic product exporter, said profits rose 188% in the June 2022 quarter to 300 million rupees from a year ago amid soft peg collapse helped by the forex gains, price increases and falling freight rates. BPPL Holdings reported earnings of 0.98 rupees per share for the quarter. And that was business news.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Ceylon tea production is down 22.7% in June 2022 from a year earlier to 18.5 million kilograms, while the total output of the first 6 months dipped 17.8% from the previous year, data shows. In June, high-grown teas were down 31.86% to 3.7 million kilograms. Medium-grown fell 31.6% to 2.5 million kilograms. And that was economic news.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
Finally, in the weather report, the Met Department says a few showers may occur in western and southern provinces. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places elsewhere during the evening or night. Fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in central, north central, eastern and Uva provinces. And that was weather report. And to wind up this news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has called a special meeting of the ruling party today. The parliament will meet tomorrow to pass the state of emergency. SJB initiates a national council at opposition leader's office. The agriculture minister says over 26,000 metric tons of urea fertilizer has been distributed. National fuel pass QR code to be implemented from August 1st. And news overseas, Russia to further cut gas supply to EU. In sports, today is the third day of the second test match against Pakistan. And with that, we conclude this morning news broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. It's back to Sound the Town to keep you company with the rest of the programs this Tuesday morning.